This time on EVSP310, Water Science. They live in plain sight, in a world in front of you, but unseen to the naked eye. They may be living in you right now. They are protozoans.
Hey, did you hear about that crazy new bug going around?
Oh yeah, everyone who came back from that India trip got really sick.
I heard it was amoebiasis.
Amoeba what?
Amoebiasis. It is a parasitic infection caused by Entamoeba histolytica, a eukaryotic organism known as a protozoan. Specifically, E. histolytica belongs to the genus Amoebozoa, meaning it's an amoeba, and a parasitic one at that, although it can also act in a common seal state as well.
Wait, a parasite? How did everyone contract it?
Well, while E. histolytica is found in contaminated water and food, humans are the only known reservoirs of the specific type of E. histolytica that causes amoebiasis. So, when humans expose their water and food sources to fecal matter, whether that be poor hygienic education or use of night soil in agriculture, they're placing themselves at risk to consume the parasite. With 780 million people lacking access to clean water source and 2.5 billion lacking improved sanitation, there's a serious risk.
So, only developing areas should be really concerned?
While those numbers are referring primarily to developing nations, not necessarily. Floods, broken processes in the water treatment process, and bad hygiene habits can put anyone at risk because the parasite is found practically all over the globe. In fact, an article in the American Journal of Tropical Medicine and Hygiene concluded that between 1990 and 2007, there have been 134 deaths from this disease in America alone.
That's crazy. I know everyone on the trip is suffering pretty bad. What is this going to do to their health?
Well, it really depends on how far it develops. Amoebiasis causes amoebic dysentery, which includes some pretty painful and inconvenient symptoms. It can also lead to colitis and mirror Crohn's disease, and in serious cases, if exposed to the bloodstream, can travel to the liver and create abscesses.
That sounds like some awful stuff. With so many people exposed to the threat, how many actually contract it?
Reports vary, but it's estimated that nearly 100 million cases develop a year, leading to around 100,000 deaths. With diarrhea and vomiting being main symptoms, one can become dangerously dehydrated rather quickly. Because of this, it is considered the third leading parasitic cause of death.
Okay, this sounds like a pretty potent protozoan. How long can they live inside the host body?
E. histolytica has a rather simple life cycle of just two stages. It has a cyst stage, where it is dormant and can live outside of the host for a few days or weeks if the environment is favorable. Once ingested, the cyst will incubate in the lining of the intestinal wall for an average of 14 to 21 days. While dysentery symptoms can occur before or after that average time, liver abscesses can take weeks or even years to develop. After the cysts are properly incubated, the host intestines, it emerges as a trophozoite, which is able to multiply and be passed through the feces in both stages and to continue its life cycle.
Okay, but those symptoms you talked about earlier sound like a bad case of the flu or any other gastrointestinal problem. What's the difference in diagnosis?
That's a good point. In an article titled Laboratory Diagnosis of Amoebiasis, a single stool examination has a low sensitivity of detecting the parasite. The best diagnostic method is detection of E. histolytica antigen or DNA in stool. Clinical diagnosis of amoebiasis is difficult because of the nonspecific nature of symptoms. So it is key to start treating the symptoms as early as possible and, if available, get a proper stool sample tested. Common treatment would include staying hydrated and maintaining nutrition while taking prescribed antibiotics. Of course, due to lack of access or confidence in medicine, people have turned to natural remedies such as cloves, coconut water, and Indian lilac. However, it is important to note that this is caused by a living organism, and to properly eradicate it from the system, a proper medicinal regimen is required.
That is a lot of great information. So how is water treated to ensure it is not contaminated?
According to Drs. Davis and Pawlowski and their bulletin update to the World Health Organization, E. histolytica cysts are remarkably resistant to chemical disinfectants, including chlorination, and can survive a wide range of pH values and osmotic pressures. They die rapidly if dried, heated to about 55 degrees Celsius, or frozen below -5 degrees Celsius. Fecal-oral transmission via hands or food is also very common. Therefore, sanitation and personal hygiene have priority in the prevention and control of amoebiasis. The availability of sufficient water for washing hands and food may be more important than the quality of water alone. Another top priority is education. If people were informed on the threat and how to prevent it, it would drastically lower the amount of cases. As we continually search for preventative measures rather than reactive treatment, the continual study of amoeba biology led to a breakthrough study conducted in India. In it, charged nanoparticles were introduced into cis-contaminated water. The particles began to bind with and coat the cellular structure. Then, the treated water sample was subjected to a magnetic field. It was quite successful at 4 milligrams per milliliter, with an 86% efficiency of removal. Hopefully the study can continue, and its findings will increase and find a practical use in the near future. Until then, the best practice of killing and removing a parasite is through boiling and iodine treatment.
Wow. Well, thanks for all that information. Now I know what to do next time I'm camping or on a trip that doesn't have improved water systems. I'm sure wish the other guys knew this.